And he is, as we say in the business, behind the glass. We're hanging out with you till noon. One of D'Lo or KC will be in here in about 20 minutes for the handoff. LaMelo Ball, we've been talking about players the Kings could potentially go get if they want to make this home run swing. LaMelo Ball came up in the chatty house. Where I think you're out on LaMelo, correct?
Okay, so I'm not 100% out on LaMelo as a player. I'm not.
I think he's a really good player.
I think he's a good player on a bad team, and I know he puts up stats. The injury history is a red flag for me.
Sure.
The fact that he's about to get paid is a red flag for me. The fact that his team is literally the worst team in the league almost every year, that's another red flag. Sure. And I get it. They don't have a ton of talent, but we're talking about a 23-year-old kid who averaged 25 and 7 last year. He's almost 24. Like, again, the erratic play is something that I don't dig. You know, again, he shot 40% from the field, 40.5. He shot 33.9% from 3. This is like an extremely talented but unrefined and like almost irresponsible player, like on the court. And it's tough because like he hasn't proven that he's a winner at all.
Okay, so I reject this. Okay. I reject this entirely. That team stinks, bro. That is not a good basketball team, and I'm not putting that on LaMelo. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe because you're right. There's definitely some like his game is really awkward, just in how he moves. It's not like the most aesthetically pleasing. But the fact that he's averaging 25, 5, and 7 on a team that is just bereft of talent, like Miles Bridges is their second best player. It's, with respect to Brandon Miller, but he didn't play a lot this year. No, I'm not ready to put that on LaMelo's shoulders and go, well, gosh, they just never win with him. Like, yeah, of course they haven't. The roster's abominable.
No, I get that. I get that the roster, but there's a difference between like being a winning player and being a player who puts up stats.
Sure.
And that's where I'm at. Like like, has he won anything? No. Do they win because he's there? Absolutely not.
No.
Like, and do they need more talent? Sure they do. But at a certain point, you're 5 years into your career and you're not winning anything. And for that matter, like the injury situation with him is equally as alarming because this is where you're going to have to pay major money to who played in the last 3 years. He played 36, 22, and 47 games.
That's the biggest red flag for me. He's played 231 games in 5 years.
I would say this
less than 50 games a year. That's where, or no, just over 50 games a year. That's where I tap out on this idea, because having a really creative playmaking point guard, high IQ player doesn't help if he's in street clothes for 60 of your games.
Yeah. No, I agree, but here's the other problem. He makes $35 million this year. He makes 38 next year, 40.8, 43.6, 46.4. And we're literally, he plays for a team that does not win at all. And I get it. Like, we can keep going around and around about the fact that the talent on that team isn't good, but we're not talking about like, oh, someone brings up De'Aaron Fox. That's what he was like the beginning of his career. De'Aaron Fox at least won like 30-something games multiple times in his career. He, under Dave Yeager, they won 39. They won 31 a couple of times in a 72-game season under Luke Walton. They ended up, winning 48 and winning 46. Let's just go through the last 5. So 19 games this year, 21 games a year before for Charlotte, 27 the year before that, 43 before that with James Borrego as a head coach. But 33 games, like 23 games as in his rookie season. Like, this is really tough.
33 was his rookie year.
Oh, 33 is his rookie year. Okay. Yeah, this is just tough to look at and go, okay, Like, how does he equate to winning, and how do you put him in the system? And the problem is that any idea that you have of him is like projecting. You're still looking at a player who the stats, we don't know if those stats work on a winning team at all. At all. Like that's and that's where I'm like, hey, I get it. You can say, hey, look at the talent, watch him play. But I also watch some of the ridiculously bad plays that he has, the bad shots that he takes. And it's like, well, you can say that it's not his fault that they don't have any talent and that's why they're not winning. You can also say that there are plenty of times where he doesn't help the fact that they're not winning, that he's part of the problem as much as he is a part of the solution. And so maybe it works somewhere else, but the gamble is for a young player who has missed a ton of games, who already is in that gigantic second contract. And that's just really, really tough. I mean, this dude's making more money than Fox ever made here in Sacramento. Like you're looking at, what Fox would have made. Maybe Fox makes what he makes this year, but this is a monstrous contract that for a player who doesn't play that much and who hasn't won more than, he's won 40 games in the last 2 years combined.
If I'm taking a risk, my cat agrees with you, by the way. If I'm taking a risk on, we talked about Ja Morant and Zion Williamson as well. And honestly, I'm not even sure that Charlotte wants to give up LaMelo Ball. If for no other reason, he is very popular with the young people.
He is very popular.
Didn't he lead the NBA in fan voting for the All-Star game? Like something you might like suck, that. but at least people are buying LaMelo jerseys, right? So I don't even know if Charlotte is wanting to, and maybe they really like the idea of Brandon Miller with LaMelo Ball and then whoever they pick this year and that becoming a thing. But do they even have their pick this year? I'm not even certain they have their pick this year. But anyways, I'm putting him in a distant third to Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. If we're talking again, we're just talking hypotheticals of players who could be on the move.
Yeah.
He's way behind those guys. Just to be totally clear, you have a guy in Ja Morant who, and they all have their warts here. That's why they would be on the move. But Ja Morant has taken a team to the playoffs and he's starred in the playoffs. Zion Williamson, when he's been healthy, he was dragging them to a play-in victory against the Lakers before he got hurt 2 years ago. You've seen enough flashes there with both of them. There's been more winning and not as many red flags in that regard. The injury stuff is obviously a big deal for both of them, or for all three of them. But if LaMelo is a different conversation for me, if we're talking Kings potential big swings in the offseason, that's a completely different conversation for me than Zion and Ja.
Yeah. Like I do have him below those guys as well. And then I because it's a part of the chat and Rustog brings up, what about Trae Young? Where does he fall in this? I think it's interesting too, because like Ja is almost 26, right? He's 25 and 264 days. Zion is almost 25. Like Trae Young is only 26 years old and way more accomplished, not only statistically speaking, but winning wise, way more accomplished than any of these guys. I would have to listen if, again, the Kings' major problem is very specific. I mean, they've got themselves into a situation where they have no point guard and they have two $40 million players and neither one of them play point guard. And that's like not a great position to be in. That's where I like you focus on guys like Ja or guys, again, like Ball. But if I'm going to focus on those guys, I've got to put Trae in that category as well. I don't think you can
Trae's
play
above both of those guys for me.
Yeah,
I freaking love Trae.
You can't play Trae and Zach LaVine in the same backcourt, not unless you're gonna give up 150 points a game.
Okay, so that leads us to this iteration of the conversation. No matter what move they're making here, like let's just assume they do one of these things, we're gonna look at the roster after that deal's done and go,
Still
they need length and athleticism. So you're bringing in a star. I think Trae Young is a star level player. I think he's a perennial all-star. I think he's awesome. And it's not because He can score it, but he's just a phenomenal playmaker. He's going to get his guys good shots. I love watching Trae Young hoop. But that you just said it. You have to have a Dyson Daniels caliber player next to him in the backcourt. And maybe that's Keon.
Well, I think you can start Keon next to him in the backcourt, but you still need the 3 or the 4.
Correct.
You still need the Jabari Smith Jr. or the Jaren Jackson Jr. You need the shot blocking, 3-point shooting, floor spacing.
And so is Zach LaVine coming off the bench in this scenario? That's where and that's where this gets a little bit messy. And this is where Scott Perry has some very tough decisions to make. Because none of that's easy.
No, it's not. Now, I would wonder too, like again, the Hawks and Trae Young and Zach LaVine's contracts match up almost identically. Again, next season, Trae's at $46 million. The year after that, he's at 49 million. They literally match up. They're almost identical contracts.
Yeah.
Like you could swap those two. And it might actually work for both teams. Number one, to give Trae a fresh start, but it would also put Zach LaVine next to Dyson Daniels. It would give the Kings the type of point guard that they need in Trae Young. And the question is, number one, is Atlanta done with the Trae Young sort of experiment?
I don't know if they are, man.
I don't know if they are either. But what is it going to cost you? Because I think a Zach LaVine for Trae Young swap probably cost you 2 first-round picks, and I don't know if it's more than that, because you're looking at, again, 2 sort of players at an equal place, except for Trae is like 4 years younger. The biggest deal for me is, where is Atlanta, and do they want to cash in and bring in more draft picks so they can build around Risa Shea and Dyson Daniels moving forward? And that's where I think the Kings could take advantage here, because you do have not only your own 26 through 32 first round picks, but you've got that 27 unprotected pick from the Spurs. You've got the 2031 unprotected pick from the Timberwolves. Those are like enticing pieces.
For sure. If I'm calling Atlanta, I'm asking about Trae Young, obviously, but I don't know that they want to, because they were really good in the second half. They figured out a way to win 40 games despite some pretty significant injury stuff with Jalen Johnson, who was supposed to really be a star for them this year. But I'm calling about Terrence Mann. If I'm just looking for a guy who can contribute right now, and if they're looking to unload somebody, I know he's 29, but I like Terrence Mann.
I would make that as part of a bigger deal for sure. Like I think like the Trae Mann contract, it got a little crazy. It's a little Terrence Mann. Yeah, it's a little too big for his for what he does for the team. But I would take that contract on as part of a trade.
Man, the Hawks are in a weird spot.
They're always in a weird spot.
Terrence Mann doesn't really fit the timeline. Trae Young's like right on the outskirts of the timeline with Dyson Daniels and Zachary Rissache. Onyeka Okongwu can play. He's only 24.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson's only 23.
Yeah, I like some of their young players, but you can see where, like, go ahead and go young. And I know Trae doesn't, it's not necessarily that he doesn't fit that timeline, but I would still look at it and see if you could get him out of there.
Can we go get Dominic Barlow?
I love Dominic Barlow.
Dude, he was on the Spurs. Now he's on the Hawks. Go get me Dominic Barlow.
Did he play at all? Because every time I watch him play, he's way better.
He played 35 games this year and averaged 4 points and 2 boards. Shot 25.9% from 3, but 53.1% from the field.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't great.
He's 6'9". Yeah.
Hey, I'm here to take flyers on 6'9" guys. That just makes too much sense if you're the Kings.
Yep.
Like, go get again, bring Jake LaRavia back, but go find 2 more Jake LaRavias out on the open market.
Yeah,
like, man, just different versions. Yeah.
If they're so bringing it back to reality instead of hypothetical La La Land where we were just existing, my guess is the Kings try and take a home run swing with one of the players we've been talking about. I'm interested in like, I don't think Kevin Durant would come to Sacramento or would want to come to Sacramento.
No,
but that's a weird one. But that's a weird one where he has 1 year left on his contract, and you're probably not a Kevin Durant away, given everything you'd have to give up in that trade from being a title contender. And so I understand the allure of like, dude, Kevin Durant is an all-timer, one of the best scorers we've ever seen. Yeah, get him in a Kings uniform. But I don't think I would do it. And I love Kevin Durant. I'm a big Kevin Durant guy.
Yeah.
I don't think I would do it because you're going to have to give up so much for basically 1 year of him. And you're not going to win a title. So
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm also like looking at at Terrence Mann's contract, just so we're on the same page.
I'm in on Bull too. Don't play with me. Go ahead.
15.5, 15.5, and 16 over the next 3 years. I'm probably not taking him unless I'm Terrence Mann. Yeah, I'm probably not taking him in trade unless I'm it's part of a Levine Trae Young swap. And in that swap, I'm taking on that contract instead of giving up multiple first-round picks. Because that's a lot of money
makes sense
for Terrence Mann. Like that might cut it to 1 first or maybe even no first, like an even trade, because that's a lot of money to give up. That's a lot of money to take on. But hey, I would start him at the 3 if you made that move.
I got sidetracked by the Kevin Durant thing. I think reality is what you just said. You try and make that home run swing, whether it's Zion or Ja or whoever, Giannis. If that doesn't work out, which history says it doesn't, I think the move is that. You mentioned Jake LaRavia type guys, who's just at the end of someone's bench, who's on a team that is maybe rebuilding and tearing things down a little bit, like a Bobby Portis type, just really effective player who may just be kind of come out in the wash with all the Giannis and Dame stuff that'll happen this summer. If you can sneak in and find a way to get a player like that, that's where I think the Kings are going to have to, the pool they're going to have to play in this offseason. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think if you do that and you find a credible point guard, you're in a really, really good spot to be significantly more competitive. And I think for 25, 26, that would be a huge win. It's just, even if it's 48, 49 games that you're winning, you get there with those moves. I know it's not inspiring. I know it's not a huge splash in the realm of Ja or Zion or Kevin Durant or Giannis. I know it's going to be uninspiring from that respect, but I think you're a way better team if you add 2 players who fall in between, like Keegan Murray and Jake LaRavia, from a player ranking perspective or whatever you want to say.
Okay.
You're significantly better.
I'm with you.
But you also got to find a point guard. For God's sake.
You got to find a point guard. Yep.
Find somebody who can run the offense. All right. He's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. Joe Brazil is producing this.